Hello, welcome to Shittywebcomics Weekly, brought to you by God. Well, Mr. God, it will help with the investigation. Just getting right into things, aside from saying, donate to our subscribe star to become genetically superior, insure your ticket to the portal to Hyperborea by donating just $5 a month.
The Rainbow Bridge to Hyperborea, I guess.
Yes. This one, I think it's from Saturday Morning Breakfast Cereal, which was another, because we covered Chainsaw Suit. We're kind of going over some of the older classic webcomics from when we liked.
Yeah, the best part is why. Why are we doing this? Quite simply, just because I was sorting my old webcomics folder.
Yeah, and you found some. That's a good thing, because it's like, that's, if you saved it to your hard drive, it's like, that's how you know it's a good one.
Yeah,
just starting with this.
Some of them I saved just because they're really good. Some of them I saved just because they were meme worthy. Loss. I have so many versions of Loss.
Well, yeah, eventually we started saving them because we were running the blog. So I have a bunch of like Sinfest edits. I have a bunch of XKCD edits that I really got from the XKCD Sucks blog, which was again a precursor. There was that, and John Solomon's your webcomic is bad and you should feel bad. There was the webcomics wiki.
So Bald Arcade. I have a bunch of those.
Yeah, well, like that came from 4chan. There's just a bunch of 4chan edits of why am I so bald?
I did on 4chan a lot was I would read the CO.
Yeah.
And VG and TV and TG.
Well, V used to post. V was where that started. I think before even CO technically is on V. They would make a bunch of edits of Funny Arcade, which is actually what Something Awful used to. I think Jeff K's parody of Penny Arcade was called Funny Arcade, and it was just like borderline retarded or maybe fully retarded. But anyways. That's going into old ancient history. We're not going to go that far back. This, I'm pretty sure, is Saturday Morning Breakfast Cereal, not to be mistaken for a bunch of other similar and usually similarly good webcomics. I won't say this is necessarily the peak of webcomics.
Saturday Morning Breakfast Cereal, also not to be confused with actual Saturday Morning Breakfast Cereal.
Yes. But the sort of the pinnacle of gag-a-day strips like this was around 2010. They weren't necessarily every day, but it was like, you could have a big flurry of comics. And it's kind of sad because the best time to read comics is over social media. And this kind of predates that.
This era right now is like one of the best eras for being able to read comics.
For gag-a-day single panel webcomics. And to be honest, the comics themselves now are gone.
I mean, our area, I guess, that era too. It's just a lot of people would scan comics and stuff. So it's like, if you wanted to either get a taste
bizarre.
Of a comic.
Here's what changed is most of the people who made these comics aren't funny anymore. Like, again, XKCD kind of had a decent era, but that was way before even this. Chainsaw Suit.
XKCD has had a few good comics, but even in the oldest era, when it was at its most popular, its best, I suppose, it was still kind of annoying.
Yeah, it just got worse and worse.
I never loved it, and people treated it like it was a gospel.
This one right here that we're looking at on the screen is it says the date in the file name, which is how you used to. That's how WordPress or Comic Press, the mod for WordPress, used to basically make each individual page. Was you just name it the date that it goes up on, and it would just post it by that. I remember because, of course, we have some experience with that actually making. We have a lot of experience making comics. We have more experience making comics than probably the vast majority of people who are getting, tens of thousands of dollars to make comics that are utter dog shit, unfunny, no soul, no characters, no story, no arcs, no nothing. And we didn't even necessarily make story-based comics, but we certainly know how to make comics better than all of them combined. Again, if you want to see examples of that, you can go check out Villains of the Snow Sea, go check out Princess High Ground. They speak for themselves. You can see right there, right in front of you, that those are easily better than any
thing a lot of these modern comics grifters are afraid of is that you'll actually just go and read somebody else's comics. That's the one thing they are
again hence the blacklisting, hence their history or their practice, not just their history, because we're talking about actual history. We're talking about actual history right now. They are just having their current practices of blacklisting anyone with actual talent.
We have history. They have history.
Yes,
because they suck so much.
Again, there's unironically a documented precedent for it's like that clip. I think we posted that on our channel or something. Maybe it was on Reaction Whim of from the Sam Hyde's show. It had Nick and it had I forgot who the other guy was, but he was talking about how P. Diddy specifically would only take on people who he knew had basically no talent because it would make them reliant on him. And that is the secret of the current crop of supposed indie comic creators in CG and NV, is that all of them work or publish comics by people who have no talent because then they can't say no to them. Like, again, Comicsgate always promotes people who have no talent because if they had talent, the people with talent could walk away and say, I don't need you, Ethan. I don't need you, Eric July, and that kind of shit. So they will always put out comics by the dumbest shitiots on the fucking planet who are genetically incapable of making even a single good page of a comic, let alone a good comic book. But anyways, this one, 2011. So again, it's a weird golden age, or maybe a silver age, I guess. I don't know, of
the worst kind of age, a silver age.
Of webcomics, though, because the golden age of webcomics was the early 2000s, the sort of sluggy freelance, even Schmorky back when he was just Dave Kelly.
Was around back then too. Sinfest is like the only comic from back then that I even know of that still exists.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember other webcomics that I read, but again, the way you do that is you would go
to, I used to read
their websites.
Freelance.
That's very different from how it is today. Today, you go to either some kind of aggregate, you go to like Webtoon or Tapas, or you read it off of their social media. Which is kind of better because the social media is the biggest aggregate humanly possible. This should be the best era for webcomics. And it's not, of course, because if you do anything that's legitimately funny, you can be Anthony Canceliano'd over it. So
that's what makes this era bad.
And this kind of is an example. Like even one of the best from, not even from the golden age, but from, in a way, the 4chan age, like stuff I remember seeing on 4chan was Lego Robot, which he couldn't call Lego Robot anymore after a while, of course, because Lego is a trademarked product. But so he renamed it to Plastic Brick Automaton. And if you read it, it's still fantastic. It's still great. Perry Bible Fellowship holds up also. But those, again, are from like the silver age of webcomics, where you still basically had to go to their website to read it, but usually it would get spread or shared across the social media of the era or 4chan or other message boards, that kind of shit. And Saturday morning breakfast cereal was another example of that. And here's this one again from 2011, 0212, so February. Some guy with a sort of goofy, simple sci-fi helmet He's saying, Steve Wiggins, we need your help. Our spaceship needs to get to the dinosaur planet in a hurry. It's powered by sex with Batgirl and Princess Leia at the same time. And this guy on his computer is saying,
He's not even looking at the guy. He's because he's already on his computer because that's where he
He's
lives.
already terminally online, as he should be. And he's saying, you came to the right place, General. And underneath it, a caption saying, why won't you tell me your teenage fantasy? She asked. I want to live up to it. Well, he began. And it was like, again, it's almost like
and that's the whole thing.
It's almost like Reddit. It's very Reddit in a way that's actually
like if
Reddit
bad. Was any good, here's how you describe it. If Reddit was any good,
well, it's like the two-sentence horror thing where there's an element of implication that actually adds to the material. In this case, the joke. I'm not saying like you have to be very smart and construct the joke yourself, but in this, it's again, it trails off at the end because the question is already answered and it also then provides the context of why you read that first and only panel and what specifically that means. Because it would be kind of funny on its own, but then you add to that and then it makes more sense and also then is more funnier, which is pretty good. Here
I just also like the idea. The idea of the comic is a very simple. Again, it's a single panel, simple premise, something to appreciate about being that direct.
Yeah, and it goes to show you really only need. Technically, the text underneath could be qualified or considered a second panel, or you could just qualify it as the caption to the one panel.
It's very necessary, though. It helps the joke kind of a bit.
Yes.
It's basically, you could say it's the whole joke.
It becomes the joke in a way. Because the one panel on its own is a joke, but then the actual joke is the caption underneath it. Here is the other. We're just going to cover like two things, and here's the second one: is parent for one day, and it's a lady saying, "I could never hit a child. It's despicable." And then parent for 1 week, she says, "I could never hit a child. They put you in jail for that, right?" And again, there's like heavy because of the implication.
Very important,
without being like so vague, because there's one. The risk of doing a joke like that where the punchline is sort of implied what's not being said, that kind of thing, is that if it doesn't say enough, then you're like, well, what? Huh? What? That can happen. And I was going to think of some examples.
Strong material.
There are some examples of that I kind of remember where it's like, oh wait, what is the punch? What specifically is the punchline? But
this guy also, though, this guy's comic, he will basically add as many panels as he thinks he needs to. So some of these comics are like a single day's comic. I don't remember how often.
I don't remember either. I don't think it was daily, but it goes to show that the reality of the infinite canvas of webcomics is really sometimes just shows you only need one panel, sometimes two, sometimes you can do 8, sometimes 9, 10, sometimes 100, but it's only as many as you need. And you only really know that if you actually know what you're doing when you're making comics, which this guy does. He always did, just like, again, Chainsaw Suit. No matter what you're going to say about them, those guys absolutely knew what they were doing in the main comics. And again, in stark contrast to CG or NV, which, again, there's when I say that, I really mean CG, Comicsgate, because if I included Rippaverse, there is no distinction. In fact, most of the people who walked away from Comicsgate just joined Rippaverse. Most of the people who were responsible for Comicsgate being immoral and full of actual proven sex pests, drug addicts, child abusers, that kind of shit, they're now just in Rippaverse. Rippaverse directly is involved with helping produce and distribute comics by the cancel pigs, by cancel culture, fake anti-woke, sex pests, drug addicts, that kind of shit. But they have no talent. So they actually need either Comicsgate or Rippaverse. And in fact, that's the greatest condemnation that you can give anyone, is that they have to use Comicsgate or Rippaverse to get their comics either made or distributed.
I always condense it down nowadays to just Comicsgate in the first place.
Yes.
Because then Rippaverse has to either publicly denounce Comicsgate, which now they're enemies for life.
They're doing that, but here's the thing: is that
stay quiet about it.
They're doing that while pretending that they're different, and the fact is that quantifiably and demonstrably they're not different, especially because they have the same people in them, the same people who were in Comicsgate when it was corrupt, which was the very beginning, the same corrupt, dishonest people who have directly had a hand in deplatforming and censoring other conservative creators. Are now they were in Comicsgate, now they're in Rippaverse. And Rippaverse, Eric July knows the people involved in Rippaverse, the people who promote Rippaverse on their streams, who work, because they do that because they work for the same company that secretly owns Rippaverse. They all know. All of them know about the actual sex pests and the drug use, Adderall, cocaine, wife swapping, all of that shit, which is it was rife in Comicsgate, and now it's rife in Rippaverse because it's the same people.
It's ancient news, but also nothing else. Nobody's even heard anything from either of them since.
Yeah,
they vanished.
Yeah, most of it dropped off. Like even the hype and the
it's not just
Rippaverse has basically died off.
Not just the bad news, the good news too. Nobody gives a damn about Rippaverse or Comicsgate. No one's talking about them. There's no comics by them that are like big, important news in the comics medium.
Even the people who were fawning over Rippaverse and Isom have basically shut up, because there's now Isom 3 came out and they know there's not a single thing. The Common America rule, which has sort of been well, not sort of, it's been directly co-opted and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But again, we've explained all of that, and if you want to know what that means, if you want to know what the Dick Show, what Comicsgate, what Ethan Van Sciver, what Eric July, what Friday Night Tights, what none of those people will ever tell you or ever admit to, if you want to know what all of that means and how it reveals that all of them are fake, again, just $5 on their Subscribe Star. It would, and once again, we say this as often as we can. A lot that goes over a lot of people's heads, but we wanted to make all of those videos public, and they were. And the people in Comicsgate and Rippaverse false flagged our channel and got us banned. Don't get it mistaken. It was Rippaverse, the people in Rippaverse who did it, and they admitted it. They were proud of it, and now they're trying to bury it because it's bad for their business. It's bad for their PR. And if anyone ever came out and admitted it, they would be completely fucking destroyed. Rippaverse would fold if any of that ever came out.
That nobody's thinking this yet, and it's like, I'm sure I'm going to mention this and be like, ugh. You have a fucking huge. People are going to accuse us of having big egos. But when we get more popular, the Rippaverse and Comicsgate people are going to be coming to us, and they're either going to pretend like they never were part of that, or that they're fucking like, oh, I really learned my lesson.
And that's happened. Actually, that's already happened.
Years.
Not only has that already happened, but we documented that as well. All of the evidence, the receipts, the tweets, the pictures, the caught in 4K, all of that that now.
That has already happened.
You can go see. You can go look at all of that on our Subscribe Star. And again, the reason why we can't just post it on our channel is because the people in Comicsgate and Rippaverse have already revealed a history of not only flagging us and getting our channel and our videos banned and our accounts banned or suspended or whatever, but also
All of
that
that.
they've gotten us shut down, deplatformed, censored, and that kind of stuff. And everyone supports them and covers it up. And yet again, they fucking and also
Again,
they
old
even
news.
tried to dox us. That's another thing. They tried to dox us.
Again,
and they
also,
basically
again, old
tried
news.
to slander us in a way where they were trying to get us killed. The stuff that happened to Charlie Kirk being killed, Comicsgate and
That
Rippaverse
is more
wanted to
recent.
do that to us. The
There's
people
actual more
involved in
recent news
Comicsgate and
there.
Rippaverse were trying to do that to us, and they admitted it. And again, they did it with slander campaigns that were basically implying that we needed to be killed because we were a danger to children or themselves or something based
Liam
on
Gray
stuff that they got caught
specifically
lying about.
threatens death to basically everyone
Yes.
constantly, inclling us.
But
And
also, don't forget,
the big controversy is Liam Gray all right? We want to support Liam Gray. And it's like, he just threatened
Liam
people
Gray's
with
just
death.
one
Why are
nobody,
you
though.
supporting him?
Fucking
Stop
Yellow
that.
Flash. Here's the thing. Yellow Flash is massively popular more than ever on YouTube. He is a sex pest who's also on drugs, and he was directly involved with getting us censored and slandering us, and to the point where he would have lost a lawsuit. He would have fucking absolutely been destroyed. And
But he was also going to attempt one.
but here's the thing. One day, it may backfire on Rippaverse in such a way that Rippaverse would end up fucking collapsing. And again, that would only happen, though, if everyone else started being honest about it. And we saw that happen with Ricada. Ricada was destroyed because of the stuff that we called.
Again, though,
Everyone else was
this is
behind us
all
on that.
old news.
Everyone was
None of
way...
this is new information.
Yes.
Let's stop pretending like it's like, did you know it's old news?
Yes. Rippaverse is
We'll
harboring
finish talking
sex
about
pests
this.
and drug addicts right now who are directly involved in censorship and doxing and all that shit. Eric July is directly guilty of harboring and protecting that. The other guys in Iconic Comics know that, by the way. They know about it. I mean, fucking a lot of people
I don't want to
behind
shove
the
it in
scenes have
people's
talked
faces.
about it.
Again,
I don't like
we're done
fucking
talking
outing
about
and
it.
airing all of this
So I'm
shit,
going to
but
keep
it's
talking
true.
about it. I'm
Yeah,
not going to stop talking about. We're done. This subject is beyond over, but that's not going to stop me anyway.
The most important part is that we covered all of this years ago, and we're being proven right every single day, further and further, to the point where people are trying to forget about it.
Except that it just brings me pleasure to shove it in people's faces. Well, these stupid idiots who are ignoring us all this time and pretending, oh, you don't know anything. We were right.
Yeah, and we get proven right, and we just saw people getting fucking furious about it, but they can't do anything about it because, first of all, the truth eternally bears repeating, and second of all, if somebody gets mad because of the truth, my greatest enjoyment comes from rubbing it in their face. It's one of the things we do just as well as comics. We've been good at that for decades, literally decades, going on over 20 years now.
We're better at it than so many people that we have the right to do it merely because of that.
We've mastered that. We're experts at that. We're experts at noticing things that nobody else wants to notice. And human behavior and human nature, the human animal nature and stuff. That's why we called all of this shit when Eric July was getting it dead wrong and sucking Ethan Van Sciver's dick. We were calling it right and saying, here's what Ethan Van Sciver's really like. And Eric July's choice was to take Ethan Van Sciver's side. And we said, well, that's going to backfire on you. And sure enough, it did. We were right about that. Eric July again was wrong because he's a dishonest person.
You need to stop sucking dick.
Yes.
Don't you realize that makes you gay?
our advice to Eric July: first thing you got to do, you got to cut off these fucking Comicsgate type people. You got to cut off all association with them, just because. Again, it's something that we actually the other guys from Iconic should have learned sooner from us, and eventually he did have to learn the hard way. And my sympathies are still with them, but just because somebody says they're against Ethan Van Sciver doesn't mean they're actually your friend. It's a very important lesson. It's something that you could apparently only learn from us, though. So, Eric July, if you should be listening to us. If you're not, if you are listening to us, you clearly need way, way better advice, because there's a lot of huge liabilities that are going to blow up in your face disastrously.
Eric July needs to stop not listening to us and needs to start listening.
Most likely he already is, but I know there are several. We already do know that there are several people who are Rippaverse fans who hate us, but they do still listen to us, and rightfully so, because they know we're right in ways that Eric July can't be honest about, the same way that Ethan Van Sciver had his fans constantly listening to us, because he knew that we were right in ways that Ethan Van Sciver
we're right in ways that are we're right in every way there is to be right, and
every way possible,
every right possible,
and even some ways they're essentially impossible. So again, if you want to know what they should be knowing, and what they will eventually be fucking like mugged by reality by, if you want to be years ahead of all the rest of them, just $5 on our subscribe star, or you can send $10 or even $20 to be like another several years ahead of all of them.
It'll somehow defy the laws of physics.
Yes, which is pretty, for us, that's a Tuesday, or perhaps even a Wednesday.
It's just a Tuesday for us.
Or a Wednesday. But anyways, for the rest, for everyone else.
Oh shit, a Wednesday. That's one better than Tuesday.
Yes. It's like a 1589. It's like one better.
One more pure.
Yes. For everyone else, though, should have listened to Shitty Webcomics.